was in New York talking to my boy Kramer, not Cosmo because that's a fictional character from the 90s sitcom Seinfeld. Scott Kramer, the VP of Sales and Marketing over at Common Thread Collective, one of our Gorgias partners on the growth marketing side of things. We chatted about the importance of listening to data and the number one obstruction that a lot of founders get into, which is going by their intuition and ignoring the data of their customers altogether. We also used one of my favorite analogies, which you'll have to stick around to the end of the video to hear. So I hope you enjoy this episode of the Ecomm Swipe File. Let's go. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Lucas from Gorgias, another episode of the e-commerce swipe file here in New York with one of our agency partners, Common Thread Collective. And from Common Thread Collective, I'm here with Scott Kramer, VP of Sales and Marketing and a bit of an entrepreneur himself before joining the team over at CTC. So Scott, what's one thing that you've come across that a lot of merchants you run into, merchants you work with, that they're doing that maybe they should either keep doing and really double down on, or hit the brakes on a little bit and say, stop focusing on this one thing?
Totally, yeah. So one of the big things, we focus on growth marketing for our e-commerce brands. How do we scale their revenue year over year, things like that. The biggest thing we run across is we're doing great on paid advertising. Their email funnels are working awesome, and then they try scaling. It's like, what is that roadblock they hit? Yep. It's like, how do we get better conversion rate? And the biggest thing we run across is when people that are actually the growth marketers, the founders, they start thinking about the funnel as like, what is the way that they actually do their purchasing behavior? I don't want to use reviews on my site. I don't want to use financing. Yep. That's not something that I use in my own buying habits.
I'm so guilty of that too, especially on the financing side of things. I look at things, I'm like, it's $30. Do I really need financing for this? But it's not just that one item, just because I want to spend it like that. It doesn't matter. Maybe you want to have a full cart or do all your shopping for the holidays at one specific store.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden your deal size is $300, which people do want to break down into a couple of payments, especially when it's interest free.
Yeah, and so it's understanding what is that is actually going to be that the customers are using to actually make a benefit. So thinking about your tech stacks, what is it that makes sense? Am I using SMS? A lot of times people are like, I've never bought anything through a text message. I haven't done financing. It's like, just because we haven't, if you asked any of us 5 years ago, did you ever buy a product through Facebook ads?
No.
No.
It's only chumps do that, and I don't want to be one of those. I don't want those kinds of customers. I don't want my brand to look like that. That's not who we are.
Right. So it's thinking about what does that full customer journey look like? How do we create great lifetime value by engaging them with these great tech stacks, great tech partners that we work with, and creating that better value and helping increase revenue. Our big thing we're focusing on this year is how do we increase customer lifetime value. If we can get our CAC down to a certain rate, what are things we could do on the post-purchase flows, different ways that we can get more value out of those great customers, and then even thinking about what can we do to generate more customers and create that better interaction, landing pages, all this kind of stuff.
Absolutely, even every single shameless plug for Gorgias, but every time that there's a customer service interaction, what else are you asking for? That problem's been resolved, that customer's happy, the same dopamine hit as when they purchase. Now the problem's been resolved. Think about how good it feels when you take off your shoe and you get that rock out. You're in a good mood.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. It's, oh, you know what? I didn't think that they would refund it, but they did. Cool, you know what? Ask that person to either leave a review, share a code with their friends.
Right,
you know,
share a picture, all these different things that you can do to help increase that. You spend so much money acquiring these customers. How do I make these customers way more valuable to me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome, Scott. Thanks so much. So just to recap, just because you don't like something doesn't mean that your customers won't. And test new things. Really focus on getting the lifetime customer value up, not just a one-off purchase.
Right. Test and trust the data. That's the biggest thing I could tell everyone. Don't let your own personal biases get in the way of what your customer behavior is.
Awesome, Scott. Thanks so much.
Always great, as always.
Where can people find you? Where can people find Common Thread Collective?
Common Thread Collective, you can find us at commonthreadco.com. Here in New York City, we're out of a WeWork on the west side between Chelsea, Hudson Yards. Great location. We're looking to host a lot more events, so would love to hear from everyone and help see what we can do to help more entrepreneurs and grow in the e-commerce world.
Hope you enjoyed that episode of the Ecomm Swipe File. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe so you hear all of the other episodes. There's a lot of tactical takeaways and practical advice for e-commerce merchants such as yourself. Make sure you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, like the video if you're watching on YouTube, and no matter where you're watching or listening, share it with your mother-in-law.